Good morning, my Facebook peeps. Well, today I want to share with you a message that I've been wanting to share for quite a while now. Today we're going to talk about how to bounce back after a major failure. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've experienced many major failures in the past. And today I want to share with you how I was able to turn that major failure into massive success in my life. And the reason why I'm also bringing that up is because I see people who experience failure and setbacks, and they never come back. They stay in the same situation, they stay in the same emotional rut, and months pass by, years pass by, and they stay in the same vicious cycle. Same vicious cycle. It's like this failure demoralized them. And I say that because it happened to me in the past. So if you're just joining us, we're going to talk about how to bounce back after a major failure. So let's start out this, well, first of all, as you guys can see, I'm in the gym right now. I just finished a nice workout. And while I was working out, I said, I was thinking about you guys, and I was thinking about me. I was thinking about my past. I was thinking about my past failures. I was thinking about all the tough times that I went in the past, all of my failures. And as I travel the country and I speak to different groups and organizations, and sometimes people reach out to me for some mentorship. I really don't have time to mentor a lot of people, but every once in a while I'll take time because I am up to big things and I'm very busy. But I always take time to give back. And failure is a topic that most people cannot bounce back from. They can, but most people lack the resources or the tools or the emotional power to bounce back. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. Give me a second. Every time I get a text message, I have to take it off the screen. So let me just share with you a quick story. So I remember about 5 years ago, I had a huge setback. It was devastating. I lost approximately $500,000. Some things went wrong with my previous business partner. I'm already past that. I've already forgiven him. I've already forgiven myself. It's the past. We can't go back to the past. But when that happened to me, wow. When that person decided to go left, and when that person did what he did, it set me back emotionally. Forget about emotionally, economically, it left me and my family in a very tough position. We went through some major hardship. It was devastating. So if you just joined us, we're talking about how to bounce back after a major failure or a difficult time. So please just share your name. Let me know who you are, where you're from. Send me some love. This way I know that I'm actually speaking to someone. I don't want to feel like I'm actually just talking to a camera. I feel like I want to speak to someone. I want to see your name. I want to get some love. Anyway, so let me continue with the topic. I know Saloni just joined us. Okay, and I see there's several other people here. In any event, So after I went through that difficult time, I fell into the blame game. I started victimizing myself. How do you know if you're victimizing yourself? Well, you know if you're victimizing yourself if you are constantly saying, this ain't fair. Why me? This always happens to me. I always have bad luck with business partners. I always have bad luck with businesses. I always have bad luck with relationships. Why me? And then you start to victimize yourself, and then you fall into a big depression. Trust me, it ain't fun. I know, okay? The reason why I'm a motivational speaker is because, and a life coach, is because I went through all that. I know when you fall into depression, you don't want to get out of bed. I remember sleeping sometimes 12 to 14-hour days. I remember overeating. I was always in a bad attitude. I was always snapping at people. It was difficult for people to be around me when I was depressed. And the same thing happens with you. You see, when people, if you are depressed and in a bad mood, the people that are around you are the ones that suffer the most. Hello? It just makes sense. Hey, Jason, what's up, Jason? So the people who are around you, they are the ones who suffer the most when you are depressed and when you are in a bad mood. So I fell into a depression. I was always in a bad mood back then because I was in the victim game. I kept on blaming myself. Why me? This ain't fair. This shouldn't have happened to me, etc., etc., etc. Instead of taking responsibility for what happened. You see, that is the best way to empower yourself. You empower yourself when you take responsibility for what happened, even if it's not your fault. Now, I know that sounds easy. Edward, hey, take responsibility for what he did to me or what she did to me. Trust me, it will empower you. And we can talk about that on another Facebook Live, but not today. So let me share with you what I learned from that, and then I gotta go home, have some breakfast, shower, and I got a few appointments this afternoon. When I was going through that difficult situation, I remember reading an article. Actually, I read the article recently, okay? I read the article recently, and what I read in the article is exactly what I did back then, unbeknownst to me. So check it out. See, Uber launched in 2000, if I stand correct, in 2008. When Uber launched in 2008, there was a group of other business owners who were launching a similar app, but they waited 2 years to launch that app. So Uber launched in 2008. This other company with a similar idea, they launched in 2010. By the time they launched, by the time they raised money, by the time they aggressively hit the market, Uber already had a good pulse on the market. So they tried for 3 years to get that other company that also was a taxi app, I forgot the name of the company. They tried their best to get it off the ground, but they could not successfully turn it into a profitable company. They kept on trying and trying and trying and trying and failing, until finally they had to close the doors. The original founder of the company was depressed. He fell into a major depression. For him, it was a huge failure. He was in his early 30s. And in the beginning, when we all get depressed, what we do? We point the finger, we victimize ourselves, this ain't fair, etc., 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 etc. Then one day he said, that's it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out a piece of paper. First of all, step number one, how to get out of a depression is, first of all, forgive yourself. That is step number one. Forgive yourself and forgive others. You see, one day you will not be around on this planet Earth. One day you will be. One day they're going to bury you, and they're going to cross your hands over your shoulders, and they're going to say good things or bad things about you. You're still alive. Woo, let me shake that off. You're alive. If you're alive, enjoy the blessing of your health. Enjoy the blessings that every day God and the universe and life is giving you, and that you're not appreciating. So forgive the other person, forgive yourself, or forgive the situation. Step number one. Step number two, just like that gentleman, he made a long list of all of the lessons that he was going to learn from that setback or from that failure. So instead of being consumed by it, he decided to be inspired by it. And how you can be inspired by your failures is by taking all the lessons that failure taught you. You see, that failure was a teacher, if you let it be your teacher. So he started writing down all the lessons that he learned as a result of that huge setback. I'm inviting you to do the same today. So he wrote down on a piece of paper 1 through 10, and he said, well, the first thing I learned is, he wrote that down, number 2, and he kept on writing down. Maybe he had a glass of wine, some nice music in the background. Doesn't matter if the music is there, the wine's not there. I'm inviting you to do the same thing. And after he wrote down those 10 lessons, he did a very smart thing. Now he was empowered. You see, every time he talked about the past, he gave his power away. Every time you talk about a person that hurt you or stole from you or robbed from you or hurt you, you're giving your power away to that person or situation. So step number 1, forgive yourself. Step number 2, stop talking about the past in a negative manner. Ever. If people ever bring it up to you, say, no, that's in the past. I just don't talk about it no more. Number 1, forgive yourself, forgive the other person, forgive the situation. Step number 2, don't bring it up again. Step number 3, make a long list of all of the lessons that you can learn from the past. Make a long list of all of those lessons. You see, the past can be your greatest teacher. The past can turn you into this new and improved version of you. Now you show up differently, you think differently, your character is strengthened. It's a beautiful thing if you allow it to teach you and help you grow. Well, step number 3 is make a long list of all of the lessons that past actually taught you. So you ready for step number 4? Are you ready for step number 4? Woo! I'm excited. Step number 4 is take massive action. Hit the field again, hit the streets again with a new idea. Obviously, I'm talking to entrepreneurs, okay? And hit the streets hard. Hit it hard. 10x it, baby. 10x it. baby. Woo! Hit the streets hard, harder than before. More courage, more persistence, because now you have a new mindset. Now you have new experiences. Now you look at situations with a different light, because now you are a different person, because you've allowed the past to teach you new lessons. And because of that, you're bigger, stronger, and bolder. So that is my invitation for you today. So let me repeat the 4 steps if you just joined us at the end. How to bounce back from a major failure. Number 1, forgive yourself or the person who hurt you or the circumstance. Forgive it. Number two, do not bring up the past. If you're going to talk about the past or your past failure in a positive light. That is step number 2. But don't talk about the past or whatever happened in the past in a negative light, because then it steals your power. That's step number 2. Step number 3, write down create a list of all of the lessons that you can learn from the past. That way the past and that failure actually becomes your teacher. And step number 4, 10x it, baby. Hit the streets with your new idea, with your new business, and be more bolder, more courageous, more aggressive, and take massive action. And I can promise you that you will generate way better results as a result of doing this. The gentleman that I mentioned a little while ago, who made that list, well, let me share with you. He launched a new company 2013 after he learned all of those lessons from that past failure, and he actually applied a quote, one of my favorite quotes. I can't remember who actually said it, but the person said, "Every setback is a setup for a comeback." Write that one down in the comment section. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. That person relaunched a new app. He hit the market strong. And today that app that he relaunched, well, he didn't relaunch it, I'm sorry. He launched a new app in 2013, a different concept, still in the car industry, and it's an app as well. He launched it in 2013. And in 2016, at the present moment, his company is worth $100 million. Now, Uber is worth $60 billion. $60 billion. Obviously, he's not even close to what Uber is, but hey, not too shabby. His company's worth $100 million. So if he would have stayed in that depression mode, he would have lost out on these other opportunities that were out there that he could have created, but because he was in a negative mindset, he was not in space to create. And that's what happens when you are beating yourself up, when you're bullying yourself. You fall in a negative mindset, you see everything through negative lens, and obviously you're not in a space to create, to be bold, to be courageous, and to take massive action. Well, that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope this message was of great value. Bye for now.